Hey guys, Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana today with an interesting topic. I find myself in, and many collectors who have come into the hobby in the last 18 months to 2 years find themselves in. We call it base prism prison. What is base prism prison? It really applies to more than just Prism. This would apply to a lot of the ultra-modern products that Panini has decided to overprint while they are chasing the dollar on their way out. But base prism prison is essentially those of us, myself included, who are stuck with a large quantity of either raw but primarily graded base Prism cards, either in PSA 9, PSA 10 condition, where we're kind of stuck with those cards and we're not sure what exactly to do with them. So you're in prison because it's a difficult decision to make. What to do with the cards? Do I sell all of them? Do I hold them and wait and hope that we hit the floor and we bounce off and the cards increase in value? Do I buy more of cards that have dropped almost 100% in value in a year, or some of them more than 100% in value in less than a year? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I'm going to show you some of the cards that I own that are base Prism PSA 10 cards. These are slabs that I own that are in my PWCC vault. As we talk through that, I'll talk about my price point on those cards and what I'm personally doing with my particular cards. But I'd love to get some type of comments and some type of discussion going for those new entrants to the hobby. I mean, I've been around since, I came back into the hobby in like 2015, 16. So my price point is going to be a lot different on the base prisms that you're about to see than some of these newer collectors that came in, in the year 2020 or God forbid, first quarter of 2021, who just came in guns blazing, throwing money at the hobby when it looked like anything you bought was going to go up, in 30 days in value. And so it was a very rude awakening when that bubble burst in the first quarter of last year, about 13, 12 months ago, and the value of all of these base Prism, base Optic, base Select, base Hoops, base everything. And we can take this prison can go all the way back. I'm in LeBron Topps Chrome prison, right? And so I've got to make decisions on a large number of LeBron Topps Chrome PSA 10s, PSA 9s, BGS 9.5s. I'll make a decision on those cards. Do I hold them? Do I continue to buy, given LeBron and his legacy? But this prison really can be applied to all sorts of different kinds of cards in your collection. Cards that have gone down a significant amount in value. Do you just sell and cut your losses? Do you hold them, or do you buy more and run into the burning building? So those of you who know me know what I usually do, and you can see the singe marks on my back from running into the burning building. So far, it has not burned me too bad, but you never know. We'll see. But anyway, so I've for those of you who aren't familiar with PWCC, this is my PWCC vault. I can. Rather than show you my actual vault, what I've done is I've created a link showing you all of the base Prism PSA 10 cards that I have from the year 2016 until the year 2019. These are primarily rookie cards of guys that I prospected in. So these are cards that I bought raw. I cleaned them, I inspected them. Obviously I inspected them when I bought them on eBay to try to find the most centered, the best condition, but you can only do so much. But once I get them in hand, it's been my practice to clean the cards, submit them to PSA, get them back graded, then sell them for a profit. In other words, buy low, sell high. Nothing new here. So what you're seeing is a link that I've created in my vault account of all of the prospect rookie cards from 2016, 17, 18, and 19 that I have left. Okay. I was fortunate enough to two things. Number one, I was fortunate enough to where we're going to talk a little bit about each one, but my price point in these cards was significantly lower, unfortunately, fortunately for me, but significantly lower than a lot of the people who got in 2020 and 2021. And that's a lot of people who came in buying base like gangbusters. So number one, my price point was a lot lower. But in number two, I was also fortunate enough, I sort of saw the overpopulation coming, and I liquidated, all of my Doncic. I liquidated all of my Donovan Mitchell. I liquidated all of my Tatum. I liquidated all of the Trae Young. I only have really four chunks of prospect rookie cards in base Prism left for four players. And I'm going to show you why not all base cards are the same too. So here's a link that I've created from my PWCC vault of all my 2016 to 2019 Prism PSA 10 rookie cards for what has turned out to be only four prospects that I have left. So I got out of some of those, and I got out of them at a very good time. I got out of them before the 2021 first quarter, so I didn't max it. I didn't cash out at the very peak of 2021 first quarter, but I did cash out at some point in 2020, which was it led to very good profits on the ones that I sold. And I was just fortunate to do that. With the tidal wave of overpopulation, and then market adjusting to how many base Prism are out there coming. So so this is just kind of an idea. I'm going to scroll quickly. Obviously, you see on your screen a hell of a lot of 2017 Darren Fox PSA 10s. This is what I have left. I did sell about 60 or 70 and did fantastic on them. When I was buying these cards in 2017, when he was a rookie, nobody gave a shit about base Prism cards. And let me tell you, I clicked that buy button on eBay a lot. I was really high on Darren Fox. I'm a huge University of Kentucky basketball fan, a Wildcat fan. I saw what Darren Fox was doing in college. I know that John Calipari's got a great long history of producing NBA-ready guards who thrive once they get there. There's a long list. John Wall, Devin Booker, Eric Bledsoe. You can go down the list. It's a big, long list, and I'm sure I'm leaving people out. But, so Darren Fox, Tyrese Maxey, Darren Fox. Darren Fox is one of them. I got to coach against him in the EYBL, so I got to get a look at him firsthand. He's a lot bigger than you think he is. He's long as hell, great reach. Great wingspan, just a great player. So I invested heavily. I was paying $3 never $4, but usually somewhere between $3 and $4 shipped per card on eBay his rookie year. So I was buying raws for about $3 to $4, a little bit less than $4 shipped. Buying in as many large quantities as I can to save money on shipping. So I might buy 10, 12, 14, 40, 60 at a time. And I did buy hundreds. Back then, it was only $8 to grade at PSA. And so I was in on each card, if you want to include insurance and shipping and all that crap. You could probably say I was in for $12, $13 per Darren Fox PSA, per Darren Fox Prism. Now, I didn't get back all 10s. I got back 9s. I always immediately sell my 9s. It's just my practice. It's how I do things. If I get back any base Prism PSA 9s, it was always my practice from day one. Sell those, keep the 10s, and then kind of gradually sell the 10s. Well, I sold a huge chunk of Darren Fox, but I ended up keeping these. This is what I've got left. So I'm actually doing pretty well. Like if we go look at Darren Fox here, if I was buying for $12, a PSA 10 Darren Fox card right now is worth about $50. If you want to look at the graph, a year ago, these cards were, it hit $275. It was consistently hitting $250 per card in the first quarter of 2021, even as late as April, right? Fox was playing extremely well last season, and his cards were doing what everybody else's base Prism PSA 10 cards, which was flying up the charts, increasing in value. So did I miss my window? Sure. But I did cash out a bunch of them at about $180 to $200 each before, it would be left of this graph on your screen. But nobody always hits the peak. And so I didn't hit the peak. But then I started to see this crash, right? Or this, it was not really a crash. It's just a gradual decline over and over, month after month, week after week, until we finally have gotten here to where the card's worth right at $50 a card. Here's the thing. There's only 2656 Fox. I say only. The reason I say only is because we scroll over here and look at, my guy Zion. There's 20,553, and who the hell knows how many are pending still at PSA. That could easily get to 25,000 Zion PSA 10 cards. I think, this is just me, I think there's a big difference between 20,500 and 2,656. Call me crazy. I don't think that the hobby has adjusted for that. I don't think the hobby has paid enough attention to how different 2016 and 2017, really 2016 for sure, but 2016 and 17 are compared to 2018, 2019, and who knows about 2020. We're probably not going to see those pop numbers because PSA wasn't open to grade all of your LaMelo Ball base prisms, so people were having to decide whether they wanted to pay $100 to $150, now $50 to grade those. You're never going to see the pop numbers that you see for Zion because Zion was $15 a card or $12 a card, depending on when you sent that bulk or value order into PSA. So again, 2017 pop on Fox is 2656. If we go back here, you'll see I'm going to skip the Jamal Murray's for now. I've got tons of Jaylen Brown rookies. Everything that I said about Fox applies to Jaylen Brown, except that his Prism rookie cards were even cheaper. And I know that's hard to believe because I was buying Fox for $3 or $4. And I'm not saying this to gloat. I'm simply saying my position on what to do being in base Prism prison is different than a lot of people who got in 2020, 21. So I'm going to give you my perspective on what I'm going to do with these cards. And then, you guys can comment below and kind of try to help give advice to those newer collectors who are stuck at a much, much, much higher price point and looking at a horrific loss. I mean, if you look at mine, I'm still 4X for every single Fox card I sell at $50. If I'm in at 12 or 13, I'm 3X after taxes and eBay fees or shipping or whatever. So again, I'm sitting on it. I'm sitting on it, on holding it. I was hoping he would get traded at the deadline. He's not going to be a king forever. I'm fine to hodl, as they say now in the hobby, hold all of those Darren Fox base Prism. Obviously, I have more than just base Prism, but I'm not selling these cards at $53. How much lower can a base PSA 10 Prism Fox card really go? It kind of looks like we've hit the floor. If you look at the last month, it's actually up 1%. So I think we've kind of hit the floor on these cards. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just my opinion. But going back, let's look at Jaylen Brown. Everything I said about Fox applies to Jaylen Brown, except I was buying it for even $1 less. I was buying these for about $2, sometimes $3. Back in 2016, right when they came out. And again, you got to take that Cajun time machine back there to 2016. For those of you who are new to the hobby, it wasn't then like it is now. Nobody, it's getting back that way where nobody gives a shit about base Prism. Back then, nobody wanted the base cards. Nobody was buying, 150 bulk base cards in bulk raw, submitting them to PSA and then selling them in PSA 10 condition. That's what I was doing. And that's how I kind of created, the funds to go chase bigger Jordan stuff and to chase Jordan rookies and to collect 86 Fleer sets and buy PMGs and buy RPAs and things like that. So I was basically taking ultra modern, shiny, buy raw grade flip profits and then re-injecting those into the cards that I wanted to keep in my collection for a very, very long term, very long time. So everything that applied to Fox applies to Jaylen, only it's more preposterous, the comparison between Jaylen and Zion, because Jaylen Brown is a pop 832. This is this is a pop 832 card. It's right now at about $140. If you look at it over the last year, exact same trend line as Fox, right? We looked at Fox over the last year, and it looks like Fox's base PSA 10 went down 78%. Jaylen went down 75%. Despite the fact he had a borderline all-star first half of the season. I was, again, hoping Jaylen Brown would get traded at the deadline or something would happen to split him and Tatum so he could flourish with his own team. It didn't work out. Jaylen Brown's a damn good player. I think he's a franchise guy. I'm holding the Jaylen Browns, okay? I know base Prism's not sexy, but it's hit 140. Let's look at Jaylen Brown over the last month. He's down 8%, right? He's down 8% from the highest one. If we look at the last 2 weeks, he's actually up, okay? So he's up 12% over the last 2 weeks, and that's only three price points there in your card ladder graph that you're looking at right here. But that makes me think we've hit the floor. And so it looks like 140 is the floor for Jaylen, maybe 135, 140 is the floor for Jaylen. So I'm sitting on him and holding him. Again, same thing I said about Fox. I did sell about 50 or 60 Jaylen PSA 10 base Prisms and made very good money. and turned a very good profit on those. But looking at these, if I'm in for 12, 13 bucks each, I'm still 10x. I just had the luxury of being there earlier than these modern guys, and I'm sure a lot of these modern people, look how many sold in the first quarter of 2021. I'm sure people picked up 10 Jaylen Brown base Prisms at some point in early 2021 at 500 plus. This card was $620 at one point, fellas, and now it's $139. So do I wish I would have sold it there? Hell yeah, I wish I'd have sold it there. I'd be sitting on a badass Jordan Refractor or a Noise Boys 10 or something like that, because I got a zillion of these Jaylens, but I didn't. Anyway, those I'm going to hodl. I'm going to hold those as well. The other card you saw in here, I'm going to skip the Jaw. Well, let me just show you. So here's my Jaws, right? I don't have too many of those. I sold a hellacious quantity of the Ja Morants. Let's go look at his. So this is the last 3 months, but I want to look at the last year. I'm almost certain I sold about 35 to 40 Ja Morant PSA 10 base Prisms somewhere around here, around the $400 mark, which I am, in hindsight, I'm thrilled. At that point, I was like, it'll come back. But I am thrilled that I did that. It is a pop 19,632. And I think just like Zion, it's probably on its way to 25,000 and beyond. Just like Buzz Lightyear says in Toy Story, if you got kids, to infinity and beyond. That's where the pop is going on Ja Morant and Zion's base PSA 10. And it's really sad because 18 and 19 are forever going to have that issue, but I don't think 20 and beyond is ever going to have that issue, because I don't think Nat Turner and the guys at PSA are ever going to lower that value grading fee to the price point where it would have to be for people to submit that many LaMelos and Anthony Edwards and Scotty Barnes and Cade Cunninghams and Evan Mobley's. So I don't think you're ever going to see, even though there are probably more printed. We need to keep this in mind. Panini has printed more base Prisms every single year since inception. So if you start at 2012, and I'm going to do a video on this, but if you start at 2012 and you work your way to 2020, it's not just gone up a little bit. It's not just gone up incrementally. It has exploded every single year. Doubled. If we go look at, here's 2016, Jamal Murray, 750. Here's 2017, the very next year. It's not 950, it's 2656, right? And then those are comparable players. And so whoever was submitting Jamal Murray was probably submitting Darren Fox. So you're looking at probably 4x the production, 3.5 to 4x the production. And then if we go look at 2018, right? So we go from 2656 Fox in 2017. Let's go look at Doncic, 18,000. So you're talking about maybe 7-8 times the production. So Panini's producing the hell out of these cards because they're chasing the dollar. But my Ja Morants, I'm in for, I think I paid maybe $30 to $40 each raw. I think I was paying $12 to grade these. And then if we go look, the card's at $273.39. But like I said, I'm really confident we've hit the floor with Ja Morant base Prism. People seem to overlook the fact that it's popped 19,000, but if you look at the last, let's look at the last 1 month, it's up 11%. If we look at the last 3 months, it's up 20%. So this card bottomed out down here, at 158, about where the Darren Fox card was. And now it's rallied all the way up here to 250. So this is a card where I've got to make a decision. Do I move these, right? How many of these do I have? I haven't even looked. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 6 or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So I've got 6 of these Ja Morants here on this screen. Do I move those cards? Do I hold on to those cards? I've got to make a decision on that. There's a lot of Jaylen Browns on page 2. Nope, but I've got more. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I've got 16 Ja Morants. Okay, it looks like, yeah. So 16 Ja Morants. Do I move those cards and try to move them for $250 on Instagram or Facebook while the getting's good? Or do I just hold on to those as well? That's a decision I got to make. Comment and let me know what you would do with 16 Ja Morant PSA 10s that you're in for about 65 bucks on, right? And so 4x profits. I'm not going to sit here and complain. And my prison, my prison is one of those luxurious prisons that, they send celebrities to. It's not the nasty, scary state penitentiary that some of these 2021 investors came in that they're stuck in, right? Where they're upside down 4x or 8x or whatever. So I'm actually on the good side with these cards. But I just don't know what to do with the John Morant. What I'm probably going to do is probably take about half of them, have them shipped from PWCC to my house. That takes about 3 days for those of you who don't know and are curious about the vault. If I go click on 8 of those John Morants and have them shipped to me, I just pay a shipping cost, which I can pay with my my vault credit. And then they ship to me. I get them in 3 to 4 days. No exaggeration. They ship insured with tracking. Comes to my house, and I'm probably going to bring them to a card show. Probably try to sell them on Instagram or in hand, or even put them on eBay. Right now, I don't think the PWCC Weekly Auction is a great place to sell base Prism cards. Rarely will you see me complain about anything with PWCC because I really like the product. Again, I'm not paid or compensated. I'm not asked to endorse them. I endorse them because I believe very strongly in that the vault and the weekly auctions, the premier auctions, as a great tool, and it's allowed me to expand and organize my collection and share information really quickly as a tool, such as these links right here. I'm probably going to have those John Morants shipped to my house and then list, half of them on eBay and then keep some of them in hand, bring them to card shows, and when I'm set up there, try to sell them. Anyway, so that's where I'm at on the John Morant. Here's the one where I really got caught, right? So this is Jamal Murray, who's apparently close to being on his way back from a really bad knee injury. His cards are at 128. His pop is the lowest out of all the guys we've looked at. It's at 752. It's a little bit less than Jalen. His card's worth about the same as Jalen, which is really weird. And his card's gone down in the last year less than Jaylen Brown's, which is strange because Jaylen Brown's been on the court destroying people, doing everything that everybody would want to see in an NBA prospect and a future franchise player. Jamal Murray's been injured, completely out of sight, out of mind. Nobody even talks about him. I've not seen one post about Jamal Murray on Instagram or Facebook, but his card has gone down less than Jaylen Brown's. I really don't get it. But similar trend, not exactly, but similar. The difference is, his card is still going down a little bit, it looks like. Down 6% over the last month, down, 16% over the last 3 months, whereas it looked like Jaylen, I think, was kind of rebounding a little bit. No, it's about the same, down 14%. So similarly situated with him. Obviously, I'm never going to sell Jamal Murray while he's injured. That would make no sense. So I'm definitely holding on to a hell of a lot of these, Jamal Murrays that you see on the screen. So that's where I'm at with my cards. Like I said, you've got 3 options. I'm not aggressive enough, and honestly, it's just not. It's not profitable enough, and it's boring as hell. I'm not going to go run into a burning building and buy more PSA 10s, even if I think that Darren Fox card right there is underpriced. I'm sorry. I know it's base Prism. That is too cheap, okay? $53 for who I believe is probably one of the 10 best point guards in the NBA and a franchise type point guard. He got a max contract for a reason. He's stuck in Sacramento. The day he gets traded to a warm weather team on the East Coast or a big market team, his cards are going to go up in value. It's just not worth, if it goes from 50 to 100, you just got to buy such a large quantity to make that type of flip worth it that I don't need to go buy more of them. So I'm going to hold on all of these guys except Morant. I might start moving his cards at 250. That pop really worries me. That's 19,000. Like we said, to infinity and beyond. It's on its way to 25,000, so I'm probably done with that. I just wanted to show you, a similar trend for Zion. So over the last year, Zion cards are down 68%. These cards were once $700, $800. I think they were even more than that at some point, weren't they? Yeah, I mean, they were almost over $1,000. Somebody bought this Zion card for $1,000, and now it's $197. I worry about those guys. I don't want anybody to lose that much money. Everybody wants to be the guy that sold that 1,000, but we forget about the people that bought for 900 and 800. And these are the types of cards, they call them commodity cards, right? These are the flagship commodity cards of these guys. So some people might have bought 10 of those at $800. I mean, somebody might be sitting on $8,000 that's now worth, $2,000. That's a $6,000 bath they're taking, on Zion. So you just kind of hate to see it. It does look like we've hit the bottom on Zion. Here's the last month. So, again, if you've written it out this far and your card has gone down, from $800 to $200, and that's where you're at, I mean, I'm holding. You got to believe it's going to spike a little bit. He's going to come back at some point. It may not be this year, it may be next year, but shit, you got to believe over the offseason there's going to be some hype and some talk, especially now with CJ McCollum and Ingram and Valanciunas, and I'm sure the Pelicans will make some kind of move to add another player. I mean, they're almost in the playoffs without Zion playing a single minute this season. So, I mean, the kid hadn't played in like a freaking year. So, the day he comes back, you got to believe his card's going to jump to $300, even though it's going to be pop 800,000. So, I would hold on Zion too. For those of you guys who are in base Prism. Sorry, it's a play on words. Doncic, nobody's, demise of their base Prism PSA 10 rookie card has taken more attention than Doncic. And again, this is purely a product of overpopulation. This kid is absolutely transcendent. I don't know how anybody could even argue. I don't know how anybody could spew hate at him or disappointment or skepticism. He is every single thing that you need in an absolute superstar, megastar, transcendent, potential to be one of the greatest that have ever done this, right? That's what he is. Let's be very clear about that. He is not like, Trae Young is a great prospect. Luka Doncic is on an entirely different level. Michael Porter Jr. is a really good prospect. Luka Doncic is on a totally different level. When he gets the pieces around him, it is going to be lights out. And I worry about my Bucks and Giannis. He will usher the Lakers out of relevance really quickly. I think it's going to be Doncic's league at some point where he is going to be the absolute pure and entire face of the league, unless there's somebody else that I'm missing. That's my thoughts on him. So given all that, his card's down 72% over the last year. And this is the reason why right there. That's it. It's strictly population. If you really want to look at somebody who's taken a hit, look at Michael Porter Jr.'s PSA 10. His is pop 6,000, but he's the same year as Doncic, so there's just as many cards. I doubt that Panini would have made less Michael Porter cards than Doncic cards. He's also 2018 Prism, so it's pop 6,000, but I think people know there's probably going to be 20,000 if he turns into a player. Maybe not, since PSA changed their pricing. Maybe he'll never get to 20,000 because nobody will submit a Michael Porter Jr. base Prism for 100 or 50. But this is a $41 card, y'all. Again, I'm not going to run out and buy a shitload of Michael Porter Jr. base PSA 10s. I cashed all mine out. I did really, really well on Michael Porter Jr. as well. Just dumb luck. I missed it. I missed the peak, but I sold them at a significantly higher number than $41. And so this card has really hit rock bottom, man. It sounds like he may try to make a comeback this year. It looks like he's up 8% over the last month. These are all good signs, not just for Michael Porter collectors, but for the hobby. It's a really good sign that these base Prism PSA 10s have finally hit the floor, we think. I think. Comment if you disagree. I know a lot of people out there think they're going to keep falling as the population keeps rising, but I don't think it's going to rise enough to really affect the perception. I think perception of overpopulation and that base is bad has really permeated the hobby, and it's actually gone back to years where it should not apply, like 2016. This card should not be down 80%. This card should not be down 77%. This card should not be down 70%. Those guys are performing very freaking well. And their pop is not like Ja Morant and Zion and Porter and Doncic. And so I think that they're getting thrown into the same category as those other guys. And really they shouldn't be. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think. What would you do with the cards that I've shown you that are in my PWCC vault? I'm anxious to get your opinion. Here's my guy. This obviously, this poor soul right here that you're looking at on your screen, he bought his cards in first quarter of 2021, so he's truly in base prison, and there's all the Zions that he's stuck with, and he's got to make a decision. What advice would you give this guy? Let's call him Claude. He looks like a Claude. What advice would you give Claude? I don't want to tell you what he's in prison for, just buying too many base Prism. Nothing terrible, I assure you. Just buying too many base Prism. He's really innocent. He just did what Sports Card Investor told him to do, and so he bought the hottest card. He bought the #1 hottest card. He bought the Zion base Prisms, and there they are sitting down there at the bottom, 18 of them. What would you tell him to do with those? Would you tell him to buy more, hold, or sell? I'll be honest with you. I'm going to tell Claude here to hold those cards. I just don't think they could get any lower. And I think there's an inevitable, boost coming at some point just when Zion comes back to play basketball. If he looks terrible, maybe they won't rise, but I can't imagine they fall much further because we've seen what he can do. Anyway, those are just some of the guys. Same thing with the Doncic cards. What would you do with a hell of a lot of Doncic base Prism right now? You think that's the end of it? You think this is the bottom? Let's look at Doncic in the last month. I don't know. He's still going down. He's down 16% in the last month. I mean, the card last sold for $381. This is a card that was $2,000. I sold all my Doncic at exactly $1,000. I sold 28 of them for $28,000 in one lump sum in one deal. Just dumb luck. When it rose to 2,000, I sold around right here. When it rose to 2,000, I wanted to vomit and go find the nearest bridge. But then, it gradually came back down. Then 1,000 was a speed bump on the way back down to 381 here. This card right here has been on one hell of a ride. And let me tell you, I was part of that ride, and I got off early. I got off before the roller coaster got to the top, which I regretted, but I don't second guess myself because I did a lot better than it could have been if I'd have held on to all of those Doncic base Prism PSA 10s that I do have. So let me know what you think Claude should do. Thank you guys for listening. If you like looking at these investor videos, click one of these in-screen thumbnails and go watch the next video because I've got tons of other investor type videos. I've got some especially entertaining videos. If you're looking to do NBA prospecting, watch my series on NBA prospecting and mistakes to avoid. I've got a picture of that video. It should be on your screen at the end of this end screen. Just click on that and go right through it. It's a 3-part episode. It goes very in depth into what factors that I like to consider before I decide which NBA prospect to purchase. And then it goes into even more depth about which particular cards of an NBA prospect that I want to invest in, which based on what we just talked about for 30 minutes is super important. Identifying the player isn't always the answer. You've got to identify the correct card, product, parallel, etc., a grade, raw, whatever. And so I talk about that in depth in a 3-part episode if you're really into NBA prospecting. If you're not into NBA prospecting, then I'm not sure why you watch this entire video. But I also put out tons of content on Michael Jordan every Friday. I have an episode called Explore the Card. Go find the playlist. You can binge watch that while you're on the treadmill or on your way to work. And then I've got tons of other stuff coming out, guys. Hopefully you're enjoying the content. I'm trying to stay consistent with you guys and trying to continue to bring you some great content regarding 90s basketball, ultra modern basketball, investing, collecting, Jordan, and the PWCC marketplace and the weekly and premier auctions. So all of that is what I do. I'd love for you to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you like the video. Really want your comments, especially on this video. I want to know what you guys would tell old boy Claude here to do on how to get out of prison. Whether he should sell the farm, hold them, or go buy some more Zion-based Prism. They're not hard to find. Just go eBay search it. You'll see for yourself. Anyway, thanks again, guys, for watching. Keep collecting. Be positive in the hobby, and peace.